The banking history goes way back, and I had some images of the Temple of Jupiter back in Roman time, and those temples, those served as banks back then. They had a huge underground storage place with what would almost, we would recognize as vault doors, and that's where the goods were kept down there. And it's interesting, maybe we're going to see them here, but the temples, if you're representing God, you want those temples to look pretty good. They should be permanent. They should be beautiful, and the temples were that way. And then when you get to banks, we want them still to look good, like there's enough wealth there and enough strength to protect all of our money. And they came out looking pretty much the same. And Will Durant made the comment that in the old times the temples were the banks, and now banks are our temples. So again, I don't know what this says about us as human beings, but it kind of rings true. I guess the first really notorious bank heist that happened, if you couch it that way, was when they burned Lawrence. Didn't start out as being a bank heist, of course. Okay, here we go. Thank you. Now I'm going to touch this, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, there's the Temple of Jupiter, and this is the interior, and it looks fit for the gods. And then this is a bank building. Pretty similar, isn't it? And if you look inside, again, pretty similar. So that's a little history of the banking. This is where a lot of the bank robberies happened during that time. If you'll notice, they were around the edges and in the eastern and southeastern part, because at that time, law enforcement could not pursue someone across, in many cases, a county line. Their jurisdiction stopped at a county line, or a state line you just didn't go across. And if they could get over into the Ozark Hills, they were pretty much safe for a while, because those people who lived down there, they didn't like law enforcement people. I married one of them. I've got to where I sleep pretty good at night after all these years. But I wanted to comment a little bit on banking in Kansas in the territorial period before 1961. It was illegal to be a banker back then. It was written right into the laws that you could not be a banker because it was illegal. And Nebraska was the same way. It was in their laws that if you wanted to be a banker, started a bank, you were subject to arrest and to the penalties of the law. My eyesight's not real good, but I think I see somebody. I recognize you back there. How are you doing? Okay. I don't think they came to rob us, so I believe we're all right. And from the very beginning, it became a contest between the bankers and the outlaws and gangsters. The bankers, they finally got established, and when that happened, then everybody more or less brought their cash and wealth to a bank. And of course, then it was the bank's problem to figure out how to protect it. And they started with these old hobnailed safes. They look pretty stout, but actually most of them were just wood, with a few straps of metal around them and those big old hobnails pounded in there. But you could wreck them with a hammer and a crowbar very, very quickly. And once the outlaws decided that was easy picking, Then the safe people decided we needed to make a better safe. So this is the next kind of evolution of that safe, the old square style safes, but they were very easily opened with dynamite or nitroglycerin. And so they figured that out. And during this time, the late teens, early 20s, the Chicago crime syndicate got involved in robbing banks in the Midwest. And they would send out crews and to case the different banks in Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma. And this is what they were looking for. And it came as a surprise to me that most of the robberies were pulled off in the wintertime. But after I thought about it, it made sense. Okay, people are inside in the wintertime, they got their doors locked, their windows are down. So in the summertime, they would send out crews that would travel these states and identify the banks that had this type of a safe. And those are the ones they would target, and they went about it very meticulously. They would do 2 or 3 or 4 banks in a night sometimes that were all in a locale that was close. The next evolution was the cannonball safe. And this one proved to really be impregnable. Even with nitroglycerin, they could not crack these. And so what happened is they began to leave these alone. They wouldn't even try to open a safe. They would go to the safety deposit boxes. Because after World War I, there was more money in the safety deposit boxes than there were in vaults, because of all of the bonds that were issued for World War I. $17 billion worth of bonds. And most of those to begin with are what's called bearer bonds, which means if you had it in your hand and you walked into a bank, they would give you cash for it. So that's, they just didn't even bother with the safes. They went after the bonds. And then that became another contest between the good guys and the bad guys. How about the vaults? Could they secure the vaults well enough? And secondly, would the insurance companies cover the losses from a vault? And that became very critical, because if you had $5,000 of bearer bonds in your safety deposit box and they got stolen, you wanted somebody to make that good. The bank said, no, sorry. The insurance company said, no, sorry, we can't do that. So then they had to work on the vaults, which reached an astounding degree of security, because in Japan, in Hiroshima, I'm not sure which is the correct pronunciation, there was a vault built by Mosler Safe Company that was about 300 yards from ground zero. And after the bomb had been dropped and they were going in there and assessing the damage, they found that vault. The vault door could still be swung open, and there wasn't a thing inside that was damaged. Nothing. Everything inside was perfect. So they made a lot of, the good guys were making a lot of progress. And in Japan, that bank built their new bank around that vault. So that shows you, if you have one of those, you're pretty secure. And the bonds we're talking about, $17 billion worth of them. And the next kind of step up in the contest was when the robbers began to use automobiles. And it seems a little funny to us to think of someone, roaring out of town in one of these. But they did, and it gave the law enforcement quite a challenge, because they couldn't possibly keep up on horseback. And they had to begin to improvise. And so immediately the other bank robbers took it up, and pretty soon everybody was using an automobile. And I don't know how many. We had a 1929 Ford truck when I was growing up, and I can't imagine trying to escape a bank robbery. But they would take tires and they would hide them on their escape route. I don't know how many flat tires I fixed. The old tube type with patches. You don't want to be doing that when somebody's chasing you. So they would either haul along spare tires and cans of gas. They would stash them along the way. So it began to be the thing to use automobiles. But law enforcement fought back. This is artist's rendition of the Auto Bandit bank chaser out of Denver. And it looks kind of, I wouldn't want to be in that vehicle. But they actually did build them. This is an actual, it's got a machine gun up there mounted. The glass in front of the driver, the windshield is bulletproof, the radiator's bulletproof. They had a lot of innovations. But if you can think of being in the front with a guy shooting over your head in the back, I want the back seat, please. So then we had to deal with the contest between the automobiles and the lawmen. And again, we go back to, as the automobile began to become effective for the gangsters, the law began to get involved in a way that surprised me. The Kansas Bankers Association had been lobbying Congress for years to begin a state police. And because of our history, going way back to when our country was founded, we had a really abiding fear of a state police. So they could not get the state police in place. For years, they lobbied Congress. So what the bankers did is they made an end run and went to Congress and said, okay, let us form a group of people that are citizens that we will deputize, we'll bond them, and we'll train them. And we'll have some in every county to assist the sheriff and deputy in that county. Because the way it was written, there was one sheriff and one deputy per county. Now, some of these counties are 30, 40 miles across. So if you have a hold up on one side, horseback, it's going to take a while, even with the old vehicles it would. So they did at one time, and they called them vigilantes, which really that grates on my nerves, I guess, because vigilantes, growing up reading about the Old West, the vigilantes were always the bad guys. But these were good guys, and the state of Kansas had about 4,000 of these at one time, starting in 1925. And I think the last, there were still some of them, I believe, in 1950s. One or two still around of those organizations. But what they would do, they would go to Camp Funkston, and they would get training from the military. And you have to kind of, as I did, process this. Here is a banking association, which is a very private enterprise, getting the military to get involved and train these people at the institution down there at Camp, which is next to Fort Riley. But they're involved. They're providing the arms, which a Springfield rifle, anybody that's a 30-06, which is pretty potent. Then the Craig, and then the .45 revolver, which all Army weapons that they provided. And they also provided ammunition. So every year they would go down here, with the exception of 1 or 2 years, and they would train, and they would have contests for marksmanship, iron sights at 500 yards. I don't know how many of you people are shooters, but iron sights at 500 yards, I can't see that far now, let alone with iron sights, but they had some impressive scores. These guys were serious. And I think it was Cowley County had an airplane that they put a machine gun on, and that was part of the vigilantes that chased bad guys. Cowley County wouldn't have been my choice to rob banks there. But they did. They pursued, they captured, they killed, and they, I think, did make somewhat of a difference. And of course, it didn't stop them. This is old Bonnie and Clyde. As far as I could tell, they never robbed a bank in Kansas as Bonnie and Clyde. Clyde, however, did rob a bank in Lawrence, which was really quite interesting because Clyde and a guy named Robert Fultz, and I forget the name of the other guy, they hit a bank down there and got $33,000, which in today's money I think is somewhere around $600,000. So that was quite a haul. But it was never reported in the police records. It was never covered in the newspapers. And so how did that happen? Well, the gentleman that owned that bank he had been in the banking business for 50 years or more. And I think he had enough with maybe some of his friends that he could cover that loss, put personal money in the bank and never mention it, so that the public was not aware that there had been a holdup there, because that was a time when banks were failing, and if you got robbed, hit bad, and you didn't have insurance, chances are you would close your doors and not open them again. So I think he just decided, okay, we'll just put our own money in, never tell anybody, and the bank went on. And it came out a few years ago when a fellow that had accompanied Clyde wrote a book, and he divulged that information. And of course you could say, well, it never happened, but if you read his story, he would have no reason to lie about robbing that bank. He had been shot about 6 or 7 times. He had escaped from maximum security prisons. He'd been stabbed a few times. It wouldn't have enhanced his reputation at all to falsify that. So I think, and then it's an interesting story because then he turned his life around and went straight and helped other young people avoid the mistakes that he had made. Really an interesting guy. I wish I could have met him. They reenact that. Once they found out that there was a restaurant in the bank building in Lawrence, so once they found out about this, they reenacted that every year, that bank robbery every year. This is the Fultz guy that ran with Bonnie and Clyde for 10 years. And he ended up in I believe it was a Louisiana prison. And I don't think that's a place you would really want to spend a lot of time. But a little interesting side on that is the warden who came in to straighten out that institution was getting old, and he, for some reason, picked this man and brought him into his office and said, I am getting old, I'm not going to be around long, don't know whether I've ever done any good with these prisons, but he said, I'd like to help one man go straight, and you're the man I want to help. And so he ended up getting a conditional pardon, I think they called it, and then a full pardon, and he was out then after about 10, 15 years. So it's really an interesting story. Okay, we're going to change to another bad guy that it's not really as successful a story, but certainly interesting. If you can add and subtract, well, in this case, just subtract. Old Elmer McCurdy, you can see he was shot by a sheriff's posse in the Osage Hills, 1911, buried in 1977. It took a while to get him in the ground, didn't it? 66 years. So what was old Elmer doing during those 66 years? Well, there's Elmer right after he got shot, and he went to a funeral home. They took him to a funeral home, and then bombed him, and he stayed in the back room for like 6 months, and nobody claimed him. So, human nature is just, I'm fascinated by it. Why would anybody go back there and decide to pick this guy up and see if he would stand up? But he did. Somebody went back there and, oh, this guy will stand up on his own. And apparently, you can't always, by reading, make assumptions, but apparently he wasn't clothed at that time, because they said they got his clothes that had been on him before they embalmed him, put the clothes back on, and stood him up in the corner. And somebody got a gun and put with him, and so he stood there in the corner of that mortuary for 5 years as a curiosity. Then some traveling carnival came through and saw him and bought him, and that began Elmer's journey across the country. Literally, there was a foot race from Los Angeles to New York. I forget what year that was, but it's probably in, Elmer, it had probably been about the late 20s or early 30s. This foot race that some promoter like Barnum and Bailey, it wasn't Barnum and Bailey, but this guy was the Barnum and Bailey of the sports world, is what they called him. So they were having this foot race, and they did. And Elmer traveled with them as a sideshow from Los Angeles to New York, stopping at every little burg they came to, and at the end of the day. So he saw a lot of country. And let's see, I got to point it at that, don't I? Oh, that's ahead of time. We'll get to it. But anyway, he ended up in an amusement park in L.A. That they were going to use to film an episode of The $6 Million Man. Now, some of you young people don't remember the $6 million show. Good gracious, there's nobody that young here. Y'all remember it. So they had to change this display. It had a ride through kind of a scary, and this guy, Elmer was hanging there, and he had lost his clothes somewhere along the way. And when they were changing things for the filming, they went to move him, and his arm came off. And they just assumed he was paper mache. But the guy looked at his arm and thought, man, that looks like human bone. So they looked at him and finally decided to turn him around and take a visual. And the entire mail package was there. It was shriveled and shrunken and dried, is what they said. Now, at that time, Elmer, even though he was dead for a good number of years, he probably flinched, because that's nothing any guy wants to hear said. So they called, the people that found called the emergency people and said, we have a case of severe dehydration. And of course they came out, and it was Elmer. They had to take him down, autopsy and all. He was embalmed with a high level of degree of arsenic, which is what they used in Egyptian mummies, and to preserve them. Said he had at least 100 times what they would normally use for an Egyptian dummy. So that's why he kind of hung around so long. Nobody claimed him. They finally figured out who he was, but nobody claimed him again until finally a group called the Westerners International. They have groups around all over the world that's interested in Western history, and they publish books and do all of these things to help keep history alive. Well, Oklahoma City group found out about Elmer, so they had him brought back. They got a plot in Guthrie, Oklahoma, and I think it was next to Bill Dooland, I believe. But they brought him back. They took him in a horse-drawn hearse out there, and everybody that went either had to be in a carriage or on horseback, and they gave him a proper burial. And then they brought a cement truck and poured 2.5 yards of concrete on top of him. They didn't want Elmer to move anymore. Anyway, that's the story of Elmer. Now we're back to the contest between the bankers and the bad guys. Sending out instructions of how to arm your bank. They would say you need 3 Winchester shotguns, and you need, I think it was 3 Winchester rifles, and et cetera, and certain ammunition. But the bankers took this to heart. And this happened in down in a little, I think it was Labette County, where they saw this new Ford drive up in front of the bank. And when you have a new car with out-of-state plates, this was kind of a giveaway to the bankers that if you didn't recognize the car, it was new out-of-state plates. So the man, went upstairs, and they had fixed a place upstairs, kind of a hidey hole, so to speak, that they had a shotgun, they had a rifle, and they had ammunition up there. When the guys came in, they said they wanted to make a deposit. Well, the wife was manning the bank. She let them in, and they said it's a holdup. And anyway, this is a question you fellas can ask your wife. How much do you trust me? My wife said, not anymore, I'm too old and shaky. But the guy shot the first one with a shotgun and put him down, switched to the rifle, and by that time the other bandit robber had taken the wife hostage, literally like you see, and he shot the guy. You see on TV standoffs, you know, I'll shoot her on the way. He just shot him, killed him. So they were fighting back. The contest was getting pretty ugly sometimes. So the bankers were fighting back. I got to aim it at this. There we go. Ike and Colleen. Ike was the fellow that did the shooting, and Colleen was his wife. And I don't recommend you guys test your wife on this or try it. It probably wouldn't have a happy ending. After that hit the news, they got thousands of letters and telegrams from all over the country congratulating them on taking out 2 of the bad guys. That's how serious and widespread the problem was. They had, some of them were law enforcement, some of them were plumbing companies, for crying out loud. I mean, it was all over the board. Really interesting to me anyway. And you go then from dumb to dumber, I guess. Anyway, he's got a star on his coat. I think that is a flopped image, but I think they usually wear their star on the other side. But anyway, Henry Brown. Does anybody know Henry Brown? He came in and became city marshal of Caldwell, Kansas. Caldwell was a major shipping point for a short while, and Wichita paper was always running something about Caldwell. They killed more lawmen in Caldwell, it seems like, than any place else. But it was not a good place to be a lawman. But when Henry Brown came in, he cleaned the town up. And they were so impressed that they gave him this Winchester rifle. I haven't yet gotten my hands on it. It's at the Kansas State Historical Society. And they can be a little bit picky about who gets to look at their stuff sometimes. But they did. I was able to get this image, and it was not a run-of-the-mill gun. It was gold inlaid, I guess, for lack of a better term, and it had this plate, and it had his name on this plate in the stock. Okay. Well, he goes down with his deputy by the name of Wheeler and a couple of cowboys, and he rides from Caldwell to Medicine Lodge, Kansas, which is about 70 miles, I think, as the crow flies, to rob the bank there. So he went in to rob the bank carrying a rifle with his name on it, wearing his deputy star. And I might have been something in the water down there, I don't know. But one of the bank employees did not immediately comply with the request, and one of them shot him. And at that point, leave town in a hurry, which they did. It was a driving rainstorm, and it happened to be there were some cowboys in a livery stable next door that were waiting for the rain to let up so they could go about their business. Well, when they heard this and they saw the bandits leave the bank, they went in hot pursuit. One of the bandits' horses gave out. So anyway, they ended up in this canyon. It's the only dead-end canyon in that whole area down there. So that they ended up in there on foot because one of them's horse gave out, and so they dismounted to stay together. And the posse got on the high ground, and they were shooting down, and they were having a gun battle. And some of the posse went back to town and got some barrels of kerosene. And by the time that they got back, it was raining hard enough, there was water standing. So they were going to pour the kerosene down, and of course oil will float on water, and they were going to roast them. At that point, they decided to give up, took them back in, put them in jail, and of course the mob, because they had shot some of the people in the bank, the mob got at them, and when Henry decided he would make a run for it, they cut him down immediately, almost cut him in half, and the others were wounded bad, and that didn't bother the people of Caldwell, or not Caldwell, but Medicine Lodge. So wounded or not, they took him out and strung him up. Henry was dead. They killed him. And here is another very interesting individual. That's, who is that? Henry Starr. Henry Starr. I keep her around. She is helpful. He's a dapper-looking guy, isn't he? He was related to Bell Starr and a whole bunch of that family that was part Cherokee. But he evidently was really a charismatic individual, because he would get arrested and he would get thrown in the jail somewhere, and he would either talk his way out or he would escape. And finally, he made it down to the hanging judge, who was not impressed. Parker. Judge Parker. And so Parker sentenced him to be hanged by his neck until dead, but the president pardoned him. So he was out to go about his business for a while longer. He told in his own writings, he wrote a book while he was in prison. He self-educated himself while he was in prison. Really an interesting man. And he disarmed someone that was going to kill a guard, and that's kind of when Teddy Roosevelt got involved. But now I don't know where I was going with that, but no, that's not. But anyway, Henry Starr, he did end up dying. He was one of the first one to use an automobile in a bank robbery, a Stutz Bearcat, over in Missouri or Arkansas, which is not true. There was somebody right up here at Waterville, Kansas, that robbed two banks simultaneously. Say it wasn't Henry Starr. And they used an automobile long before Starr did. He said he robbed more banks than anyone else at 21, I think, or 22. Not true. So he was always spinning some kind of a lie. The Newton brothers, they robbed over 80 banks, never got caught until the last bank. And that is a story in itself. They hired some outside help, and here's the old saying, good help is hard to find. They hired somebody else to help them on this job, and this new guy shot one of the brothers. And I think he realized after he shot him that this was not good, so he shot him several more times, tried to kill him, but he didn't die, and then the brothers sought medical help, and that's how they got caught. And they ended up, after that, living a full life down in Texas. And the one that was interviewed here, I think it was in the 80s, 1980s. He was still alive, and he looked at it. He said, just like bankers and doctors and lawyers, he said that was our business. He said that's what we did to make our living. And they were good at it. Oh, well, that other picture was of Lansing Prison. Lansing was kind of a revolving door. They put a lot of people in Lansing, but a lot of people got out of Lansing, unfortunately. Didn't have the court situation like we have today. There were cases where they would catch a bank robber, and in 3 days he was in Lansing. I mean, no long, drawn-out trial. He just, you get caught, you go to Lansing. But they escaped from Lansing on a regular basis, and the KBI finally got formed and approved by the legislature in 1939. They started with, I believe it was 10 employees. One was a secretary, and of course the director, and then the others were just agents. So now Kansas had a law enforcement group that could cross state lines and could pursue anywhere. And there were 6 broke out of Lansing, and they handed the case to the KBI. And this was short. I think this was like 31 or 32. And so they went in pursuit, and they caught all but 2 of them very quickly. And one of them they chased clear to California. And I'm talking a matter of months here. They had all but 4 of them had been caught. There was 2 of them they didn't get that ended up operating from an old sheep farm out in Colorado. Well, believe it or not, one of these guys went undercover and got in with those guys. These were killers, rapists. These were bad guys, but he was cool enough. He got in, and they were going to, and he went with them, and they cased a lot of banks out in western Kansas and deciding which ones they were going to rob and so forth. And they picked one in. I'm used to work with a lectern where I can have my notes there. What in Maxville, Kansas? Yeah. I'm sorry.
She heard the shots that day.
Really? Well, you probably know It was the sheriff's daughter. What? Okay. Anyway, that's good. She knows I'm not lying. There was, but the undercover guy sold him on some excuse. He said, "I really want to go with you, but I got to go to Oklahoma and take care of some family business." He said, "I'll come back in time to help you count the cash." And they said, "That's fine, because we're going to do a lot more." Well, he got out and notified the KBI, and they went out and waited, I believe it was for 6 days. They cased the banks in the little town out there, and decided one more day, that's all we can wait around here. Well, on the 7th day, a new 1941 Ford came in from the south, and it had been painted, I think it was blue, with a paintbrush, which you think that would make it stand out a little bit, but these guys might have been listening to Clyde. I think Clyde Barrow was the one that rode Ford Motor Company and said how much he loved their Fords. So they stole a 1941 Ford and drove into town. There were 2 banks. They went and turned around down at the end of the street and came back. And they hadn't got out of the car when the KBI said, "Give it up." They didn't. Well, they actually did. That's the end of those 2 bad guys. And boy, I wish I could remember her name now. She was the daughter of the sheriff out there, who became, I think, the 2nd head of the KBI. And she ran down the street to look at the bodies. And she said she got up on the running board and looked in and saw, which is another really interesting aspect of that era. And maybe if they would do it, we would all do it too. But you know, they would take those bandits out and they would put them on the sidewalk or wherever on display. And people would come for hours and miles to, some of them would get some kind of souvenir if they could. But this young gal, I think she said she was 8 years old, ran down there and got up on the running board. She said, "I wanted to see him." So she saw him. She's still living as far as I know. They robbed millions of dollars, and they lived on a farm they called the Horseless Horse Ranch. Out by Garden City, because nobody ever saw any livestock around, but they built this new house out there when everybody else was starving. They always drove fine cars, and the family was, well, these Ralph and his brothers are in the livestock business. They buy and sell. But nobody ever saw any livestock, so why they bought this, I don't know that story. This is the banker in Lamar, Colorado. Another interesting story. He had a Colt 45 that was given to him by Frank James of the James Outlaw Gang. And he kept it in his desk drawer and told people that nobody will ever rob my bank because I'll just get old Betsy out here and we'll kill him. Well, people told him that was kind of foolish. This is his son that was also in the banking business there. And when the Flegel gang came in and to rob the bank, the old man pulled out that revolver and got off one round and hit a guy in the jaw, but it didn't put him down. Now, it takes a pretty tough guy to take a 45 round in the jaw and not put you down. But I will comment on him in a minute. But they drove, they drove Buicks. Another interesting, these guys had their favorite automobiles. They all had a favorite automobile. These guys liked Buicks. I don't know whether you've ever heard of Marmon automobiles. There were some that robbed a bank out in western Kansas. That's all they would steal a new one for every job. So anyway, this, but the Flegels shot the bank president and killed him. He got off the one round that didn't put the guy down, and he shot a second time, but it didn't fire. But I suppose that gun had been in that drawer probably for 30 years or more and never been tended to, so I guess it's not surprising. And I'm sorry? The Flegels were northeast of Garden City, just a little bit. From Garden City, the old man homesteaded, it would have been north and east of Garden City. Now, one of the boys he leased some land, and I'm not sure where that was.
So where's the car? Where's the car? The blue car, where is it?
It is in Lamar, Colorado, at the museum there. That it is actually not the actual car. I tried to run that down, and nobody agrees where that car's at. I got a lead that said there's an old boy out there that's got it, and I ran him down and got him out of the field. He was on his tractor, and now he's got it, and it was just a running gear was all that was there. Now, how do you identify that? I don't know. What's the village up there in Nebraska? Pioneer Village. They think they've got it. So anyway, I found this extremely interesting that Studebaker back then was making a law enforcement vehicle. And he was gaining on this Buick. So it was, for a Studebaker, it was doing all right. A long story there, I'm running out of time. This is Jake Flegel. He was the last of the gang to be apprehended. This is Ralph. Ralph was married. They said he died with an estate of over $1 million. That's his wife on the left, his mom on the right. This is Heavy Ralston. They called him Heavy Ralston. He was 6'4", I think, and 240 pounds, something like that. Decorated military. And that's probably why he didn't go down. He was a big man, probably pretty tough. This is one that they brought in, some hired help. This is the bank employee that they took with them as a hostage. This is a doctor that they got to treat Ralston with his jaw wound. This is the shack they killed the bank employee that we just saw. He was executed, shot execution style in the back of the head. This is where they found the doctor's car, and then the X marks where the doctor's body was. So they executed him too, shot him in the back of the head. So these people angered a lot of people, and it was a massive manhunt. It was the first that used an airplane to search for criminals. First time they transported criminals by airplane. First time a single fingerprint was used to convict somebody. So it was these guys got everybody's attention. As a matter of fact, it was national news, and Evil Eye Flegel, do y'all remember him? Yes, he was based on Ralph Flegel, and actually Donald Duck. There was a character in Donald Duck that was based on the Flegels as well. This is their family plot out in Garden City. The mother kept going down and telling the grave diggers that were digging a grave for her son, not Ralph, but the youngest one, that was not who you killed over in Arkansas. They caught him on a chicken ranch over in Arkansas is where they caught him. He had went to ground over there as a chicken farmer.